image, don't you think? That your soul is entering the flesh again. And when we look at that, the first thing that I think about is that many of us have, as Rick said in his opening prayer, many of us have these inclinations, we have these preferences. We also have really strong dislikes. We have aversions to things that don't make any sense to the logical mind. We also, many of us, have what we would call levels of genius and understanding. Some of us come in life very early with a passion about different things that starts so young. You know, I think about my son who was 5, and he came in this life with this mad passion about movies. And today, it is the passion that fills his life. I mean, it's hard to talk to him and not feel like he's talking about a character in a movie, or films noir, or silent films. I mean, any genre, he can't get enough. And so I can't help but wonder, was he a creative soul from another time? Was he an artist in another way, where from the time he was learning how to ride a bike, he was on it, you know? And so we see that, or we see musical geniuses, or we see prodigies that can speak languages and play the piano or do all kinds of things that make no logical sense. And so these are the kinds of questions that cause the mind to wonder, have we lived before? Where does that come from? It can't be just a mere coincidence of opportunity. There is something greater that happens. And in our common vernacular, we talk about old souls and young souls, right? I mean, it's very often that we will say that person feels like an old soul, and we're not talking about their age. No, we're talking about their energy, their wisdom, their knowledge base, that they feel like they have the presence of an old soul, and what they say, how they convey it, matches that energy. And it makes no difference how old they are. They could be 12, or they could be 80, and even whatever their age, they have that feeling. Conversely, we also know many people, and we might even be talking about ourselves. Again, not anything about chronological age, but somebody feels like a young soul. Typically, we say that means it's a person that does not feel very wise, or it feels like a person that's very naive or unskilled in the ways of the heart and the soul. And it's not just a euphemism for somebody that is, not well developed, but from a spiritual point of view, it's a way of looking at somebody and understanding that from a soul's level, that they haven't been very matured throughout time and choice. And so when I look at people that I think do not choose well in consciousness, do not choose well from the heart and soul, it is so much easier for me to understand and accept those souls if I feel intuitively that they're young souls. I think about people that I know from my family and others that I know that are very reactive and very emotional, and perhaps they cause a lot of distress and pain needlessly. But when I understand that this person is a young soul, there's no judgment about that. There's just an understanding. And when I understand that, when I see that, when I sense that, my reaction to a young soul is not as a lesser person, but it's a reaction to a person with compassion. And the only thing I can do is be a compassionate soul at that time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me what they should know or how they should be, but I understand. Because, you see, all of us are young souls in certain ways of our development. All of us. And we have a way of intuitively relating to that understanding that in a way that is very good and healing and embracing of all people.